It's 2 a.m. You should be asleep, but instead you're lying there, replaying something you said 3 days ago. Maybe it was a joke that didn't land. Maybe it was an argument where you chose the wrong words. Maybe it was just a conversation that ended too quickly. And now your brain won't let it go. It keeps running it back, like a film editor cutting the same scene over and over, searching for something. You're not alone in this. And you're not overthinking. Your brain is actually doing something very specific, something it was built to do. And once you understand what that is, you'll never feel crazy for doing it again. Here's what's actually happening. Your brain has one job above everything else: not to make you happy, not to help you succeed, to keep you safe. And in the social world, safety means belonging. It always has. For thousands of years, being rejected from your group didn't just hurt your feelings. It was a death sentence. No tribe meant no food, no shelter, no survival. So your brain evolved to treat social threats the same way it treats physical ones, with full attention, with urgency, with obsession. That conversation you keep replaying, your brain flagged it as unresolved, a potential threat that hasn't been neutralized yet, so it keeps bringing it back, not to torture you, to protect you. Psychologists call this the ruminative cycle. Your mind returns to an unresolved social moment because it believes if it analyzes it enough, it will find the answer that makes everything okay, the perfect comeback. The better explanation, the version of events where you didn't feel so exposed. But here's the cruel irony. The more you replay it, the more your brain treats it as important. The more important it becomes, the more you replay it. It's a loop with no natural exit. And it gets more specific than that. Research from the University of Michigan found that people who ruminate after social interactions show significantly higher activity in the medial prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for self-referential thinking. In other words, the replaying isn't random. Your brain is specifically analyzing how you came across, how you were perceived, whether you are still accepted. It's running a social simulation, trying to calculate if you are still okay. Now here's something that might surprise you. The people who replay conversations the most are usually not the ones who said something wrong. They're the ones who care the most about being understood, about being genuine, about not hurting anyone. The replay isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of depth. People who don't care don't replay. They just move on. But caring too much has a cost, because your brain can't tell the difference between a real threat and an imagined one. When you replay that conversation at 2 a.m., your nervous system responds as if it's happening right now. Your heart rate shifts. Your muscles tighten slightly. Your body is preparing for a confrontation that ended 3 days ago. This is why replaying feels exhausting. You're not just thinking, you're re-experiencing. Every single time. There's also something called the Zeigarnik Effect, named after Soviet psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik. She discovered that the human brain remembers unfinished tasks far more vividly than completed ones. Incomplete things demand mental bandwidth. They stay open like tabs in a browser that won't close. A conversation that felt unresolved, where something was left unsaid, misunderstood, or cut short, gets stored as an open file, and your brain keeps returning to it, trying to close the tab. So what do you do with all of this? The answer isn't to stop caring. You can't rewire a brain that evolved over millions of years in an afternoon, but you can change your relationship with the replay. The first thing is the hardest. Recognize that the replay is not a memory. It's a story your brain is writing in real time. The version of that conversation you keep revisiting, it's not what actually happened. It's your brain's interpretation, filtered through your insecurities, shaped by your fears. The other person has probably forgotten it already. The second thing is to give the loop a resolution. Your brain replays because it feels unfinished, so finish it. Write down what you wish you had said. Say it out loud to yourself. Or if it truly matters, reach out and say it. Not to reopen the wound, but to close the file. When your brain gets the resolution it's searching for, the loop loses its grip. The third thing is the most important. Start noticing what the replay is really about. It's rarely about the words. It's about the fear underneath, the fear of being seen as unkind, or stupid, or too much, or not enough. When you find that fear, sit with it for a moment, not to fix it, just to see it clearly, because the brain stops screaming when it feels heard, even if the only one listening is you. You're not broken for replaying conversations. You're human, deeply, uncomfortably, beautifully human. And that part of you that keeps going back, it's not your enemy. It's just trying to make sure you're okay. Maybe it's time to tell it that you are. If this felt like something you needed to hear, subscribe, because every week we go deeper into the psychology of being human, and the next video is going to explain something about your brain that nobody ever told you. Click it. You'll understand why.